Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Over 100 episodes, almost 40 different ethnic backgrounds, living in almost 30 different countries. In just 2 seasons, the Niqabi Diaries podcast has brought you the stories of Muslim women across the globe, women united in sisterhood by their commitment to the Deen of Islam. Welcome to Season 3 of the Niqabi Diaries podcast, where, inshallah, we will continue to bring you the stories of the women behind the veil. The Niqabi Diaries, our experiences, our perspectives, our voices. I'm your host, Samar, and thank you for listening. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is season 3 of the Niqabi Diaries, and we're back with another episode, alhamdulillah. Sister, please could you introduce yourself to the listeners and tell us a little bit about what you do, inshallah?
Sure, my name is Rumaysa, and I am the owner of a business, Rumaysa Fashions. I sell, modest attire for Muslim women, and I'm a wife and a mom.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, barakallahu feekum. Sister, could you, inshallah, give us a little bit of information about your Islamic background, inshallah, and tell us how you got to be wearing the niqab?
Sure, so I've been Muslim for 4 years. I took my Shahada in February 2018,
Inshallah.
and I started wearing niqab 8 months after, in October.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to hear how I became Muslim, or just go get into
Yes,
the
I would
niqab?
love to hear how you became Muslim. I was literally just going to ask you, so if you could tell us, yeah, that would be great.
It would help lead into the niqab story too. So I was a party girl before. I was like really a party girl. And so when I moved to the city I'm in now, I met party Muslims. They didn't introduce me to themselves as Muslims. They were just party people. They
Right.
weren't like, hey, we're Muslims. They were people, so I partied with them.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I learned that they were Muslims because I saw them praying and saying Astaghfirullah,
Wow.
while they were still doing, they weren't living the right, life. They were
Yeah.
still doing things. So that is those little things that they were doing is what led me to Islam. I was like, what does Astaghfirullah mean? And then I was like, why do we say Bismillah? Why are you saying it? And then the praying, when I saw them praying, that was totally a game changer for me. I'm like, wow, Christians don't do that. I've never seen that. My family growing up do that. They just told us you can pray whenever, and I guess you were just like praying in your mind. So the physical praying for me was like amazing. So it like intrigued me, and I began learning more and more about Islam, like the 5 pillars, and the what are the six ones of faith or something, is it? What is it? You
Yeah,
know what I'm talking about?
the pillars of faith, pillars of Iman.
Yeah, so I began learning about that after I learned the 5 pillars of Islam. I learned about the 6 pillars of faith. And then I started wearing hijab. I wasn't Muslim yet, but I was like, I want to wear this hijab. I want to see what it's like. And then my friend took me to the masjid. So I'm like with hijab and leggings on in the masjid, and people are like, haram. This one older lady was like, haram. And I'm like with tears on my eyes. And one sister noticed I wasn't Muslim. And she's like, she's no sister, she's not Muslim. And so the sister felt horrible and gave me an abaya and a atar
Wow.
and a
Mashallah.
khimar. She felt it was a Friday too. We were going for Juma. My friend would always take me like for the Jumas.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up taking my Shahada on one Juma.
Subhanallah.
And I ended up, so that friend stayed in my life, and like, they helped me.
Mm-hmm.
There was my support, literally, when I became Muslim. It helped me a lot. But I don't want to keep babbling on about the becoming Muslim because I could talk a lot.
No, well, keep going. I mean, it's subhanAllah. It never fails to amaze me how people come to Islam. Like it's such a unique experience. And you know what I find impressive as well is the fact that you've come to Islam through Muslims who like weren't like doing their best as Muslims. Do you know what I mean? It
Right.
just goes to show that like Allah can guide anybody like through any means, and it doesn't
Yes.
excuse those Muslims that that they was doing wrong. But I think Alhamdulillah, at least they was doing enough that you could see that there was something different about them. So they were still praying and stuff. Because I know that obviously there's a lot of Muslims who just don't pray at all. So at least there was
Right. That's
something,
true.
you
They
know.
were hanging on to
Yeah,
their deen by
subhanallah.
like a thread. They weren't giving up. They still hung on, like, you know.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
So so I went from like booty shorts and my breast out to
Mm,
covering with cardigans and hijab
mm,
to abayas to niqab to jilbab.
yeah,
It was
subhanallah.
it was a complete change.
I think we've had some similar backgrounds there. So it's like for people who don't understand this kind of transition, you've gone from like, being used to being uncovered, how did
Hmm.
you get used to like covering? Because for me, like it wasn't the covering itself that was the big like a challenge as such, but like covering my hair, I felt that was like really like like it wasn't something that I really liked, to be honest. I really hated like the hijab when I first put it on, and I felt strange like having it like, especially wrapping it in like a proper way. If you wear it in a turban or you tie it back or you have it like more of like an African head wrap, it wasn't a big deal for me. But like to wear it like to really look like a Muslim woman, I felt strange, because I felt like
Hmm.
almost like part of my identity had been taken away because I was all about my hair. So how was the experience for you that going through that transition?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I felt like I didn't know how to wrap my hijab. I felt like I looked out of place. Like everybody knew I was a new Muslim because
Yeah.
my hijab was not wrapped properly.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like it took my identity away too because it was all about doing my hair and styling my hair every day and being so cute because of my hair.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to understand the concept of our hair and covering because you really do be so focused on your hair, like. But
Definitely.
it did take a while to understand. I went through the phase where you wrap the hijab, but you're still showing your hair. Like I
Mm-hmm.
went through that phase,
Yeah.
but I got over it,
Alhamdulillah.
alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So so like what kind of got you to the point where you felt, oh, I can wear the niqab? Or what was your first experience with the niqab itself? Did you have any, were there sisters in the masjid who were wearing it, for example?
Hmm. So how I got into niqab is like a few reasons. So my friend had advised me. They were like, this will help me because I told them about my situation I was going through. So I was wearing hijab and taking the bus or whatnot. I didn't have a car to go to work at the time. And all the time like guys were hollering at me, like,
Mm-hmm.
I would get cat calls on the street like, hey
Yeah.
girl. So they were still hollering at me. It was so frustrating to me.
Mm-hmm.
My friend had told me about the niqab. So I was like, I didn't go much in a conversation with them. I just sat in the back of my head like, oh, okay. And then I was going to the masjid too as a new Muslim,
Mm-hmm.
learning my community, making friends. And it was me and another new Muslim sister. We were like little besties, me and her.
Yeah.
And I still remember to this day the location I was at, the girl I saw, and everything. And I know the girl, the Niqabi girl that I saw too. She's the sweetest girl. We're friends.
Alhamdulillah.
But
Alhamdulillah.
I saw her. I was leaving the masjid and she was coming into the masjid. And the way I saw her, it was like she was the beautifulest thing ever.
Mm,
And so I asked her, she was taking off the niqab because she was coming inside. And I'm like, how do you wear that? Because it just was amazing. I didn't know how she wore it. Like, I was confused how she had that thing wrapped around her head. But she was so beautiful. So she
mm,
just told me, like, oh, you put it on like this. And I'm like, why do you wear it? And she told me why you wear it. And she gave me like one of the most basic examples. She didn't go into detail. She was like, "Oh, it's for covering our face to protect us from people, guys seeing us, something like that." She had said, and I was like, "Oh, I want one. Where can I get one?" And I was new to the area too.
yeah.
I think I had only lived in the city maybe 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah, I had been. So she told me an area, and me and that girl, we went to go get it, and we told the lady we were new Muslims, and she gave it to us for free, both me and her.
Wow.
It was really awesome.
Oh, mashallah. So you have had another friend who was a new Muslim too?
Yeah, so yeah, me and her both we wore the niqab, but she could not continue with it. We were like going in and on it together. We went in on it together, but she wasn't able to continue. At that time, she does wear it now though.
Mashallah.
And so I put it on and I felt great because the guy stopped hollering at me.
Alhamdulillah.
That
Alhamdulillah.
was like I was like because I had learned about fitna at that time
Mhm,
too because I was like on my Islamic high or the Iman high
mhm.
where I was like I gotta learn all this stuff and I had learned about
Yes.
fitna and I'm like what is fitna?
Mhm.
So I'm like, oh wow. And it was just amazing to me. And I'm like, the niqab was just a blessing to me. I feel like, especially when those guys left me alone.
Mhm. Alhamdulillah. But from on a practical level as well, like
Mm.
how was it like when you actually put it on? Obviously, like you can feel the difference,
And,
you know, but practically, how was it like? Did you find it difficult to breathe or anything like that?
yeah, so that was my first feeling. I was like, I cannot breathe in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I really found it hard to breathe for the first few days. And I had a lot of whispers from Shaitan, like
Mm-hmm.
literally the first few days. And I've had anxiety issues in the past, so I felt a few like panic attacks coming,
Mm-hmm.
but I had to like self-soothe myself like out of it. But I was able to overcome those hurdles and keep it on. I like did not take it off. And that was a blessing.
Alhamdulillah. So what like did you do anything to apart from that to like help you? Because like I found that when I first put the niqab on, the one that I like I don't even know where I got it from. I think somebody must have given it to me. But literally the fabric was so like it was just terrible for a niqab. It was like non-breathable. And I was wearing it for the first day and I remember like literally feeling like I was gonna suffocate. And I had actually was doing public speaking that day as well with a small group of people but and you know they started asking me quite what do you call it challenging questions but me at the time which I was still relatively like new Muslim and I didn't know that much so they was asking me these questions and I remember like, feeling really really frustrated not being able to like breathe properly as well you know like when you kind of you know getting a bit flustered and stuff and subhanallah I felt like it was really a terrible experience wearing the niqab like that because
Yeah,
and it was mainly because of the fabric but I still persevered I kept it on but I realized that the fabric itself was terrible so after that alhamdulillah I managed to get like better quality
better.
niqab with like fabric that you could actually breathe through that was still not see-through because that was one of the things like challenges is finding a fabric that is not see-through but you can also breathe through it
Totally.
like
Yeah,
easily.
and then selling them, I know I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I got like I have several suppliers and I got one niqab from one supplier, as a test
Yeah.
before I get a large quantity
Mm-hmm.
and it was super thick and I'm like, "Oh my God, no way. I'm not purchasing a
Yeah.
large quantity of these." But most of my niqabs are very breathable, so I totally get where you're coming from with the thick niqabs and not being able to breathe. And so my niqab, the first one I wore, I kept it for so long because I had like it was so important to me. I just didn't want to get rid of it. And when I attained more niqabs, I
Mm-hmm.
could definitely see the lower quality in that niqab
Yes.
compared to the other ones I
Yes.
purchased
Yes.
later on.
So how did you get into selling the niqabs itself? Because alhamdulillah, you've been Muslim for you said 4 years now, so you've gone
Mhm.
mashallah from basically being a revert to now you're somebody who actually sells niqabs themselves. So how did you get to that point?
So my main goal was to build a future for my son, and it's a akhirah goal, like
Mm-hmm.
oriented thing here.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to build towards my akhirah,
Mm-hmm.
and to also help other sisters, to have affordable clothes, to teach them not only just to provide clothing, but to teach them as well about niqab and how they can wear it and be an inspiration for them.
Mm-hmm.
And also it's to afford for my son to go to school. Because when I started this business, I was working at a daycare and my income was not affordable. Like, and I did not want him to go to like the public schools. I don't want my son to go to public schools. I
Yeah.
want him to be able to go to a madrasa or to like homeschool him, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So it was also for that. And that's a part of my sadaqah jariyah. You know, my son is my sadaqah jariyah.
Yeah,
So
of course. Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah.
I have a lot of goals towards that.
Alhamdulillah.
Mhm.
Definitely we all do, Alhamdulillah. May Allah make it easy for you. I mean,
Yeah.
so okay, so you're a revert, so I haven't asked you about your family. Like, how has it been, like the transition from non-Muslim to Muslim, and obviously wearing the niqab as well? Like, how's that been with your family?
So my immediate family, they're all okay with it because they're not really practicing except for my mom. They're Jehovah's Witness, my family,
Right. Mm-hmm.
the ones that do practice. Both sides, literally, are Jehovah's Witness. So they were pretty much okay with it. Nobody was like Islamophobic or nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and see my mom like a month after I had worn niqab, and that was the only time I took it off. I had so much anxiety to wear it in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she lives in North Carolina, and I'm in New York. So took it off to travel to see her, and I showed her a picture, and she freaked out. She said, like, you know, the stuff that Islamophobic people say, like, they're forced to wear that, blah
Mm-hmm.
blah. And I was just like, I ended the conversation, you know. I was like, no, that's not true. Please stop saying that stuff. And you know, we never said nothing else about it. And then
Yeah.
3 years later, she saw me in it, and it was okay.
Alhamdulillah. 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 It's sometimes you just have to, you need to have patience with these things, isn't it? 'Cause it takes time as well for families to
My extended
adjust.
like family, like aunts and uncles,
Yeah.
I have not talked to them at all about me being Muslim. My mom has.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. They're more on, I guess, an Islamophobic kind of level, I guess, if you want to
Okay.
say.
Mm,
And they'll just question my mom, like, "Well, how do you feel about her being
mm.
Muslim?" And I guess she's like, I don't care. She's my daughter, you know. She just stands up for me.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
But for the most part, no problems with the family.
Alhamdulillah. And like, have you experienced any kind of abuse since wearing the niqab itself?
Oh, just some verbal abuse, no
Okay.
physical abuse. I've had a few people yell out words to me like Arab or this is America. I've
Mm,
had people, or on the bus once, I had a drunk guy slurring and saying stuff to me. I was literally in tears. It was horrible.
subhanallah. Subhanallah.
That's about it.
Oh, subhanallah. So can you tell us a little bit more about your business and like what you're offering for sisters basically? Because obviously I know you've got your Instagram and stuff like that, but yeah, tell us more about that, and you can tell us more about niqabs because sisters usually ask me questions like, oh, where do you get your niqabs from and what materials and fashion, what kind of fabrics are good for the niqab and stuff like that. So since you sell them and that is your business, like, can you go a little bit more detail for those sisters, inshallah?
What was that? You want me to tell you more about the business in the niqabs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So I started my business in 1 year. It's been literally like 1 year and a couple months. I started in June. Oh, it's a thunderstorm coming. I started in June of 21.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, later my baby was like a few months old. So I started and I sell a variety of niqabs. I got single layers, double layers, triple layers, a lot of half niqabs. I have a lot of half niqabs and super breathable.
Mm-hmm.
And they come in so many different styles and patterns. And I like to really focus on why we wear the niqab and teaching sisters how to like take those steps to wear it because many times sisters are scared or they're focused on like what society thinks or sometimes they sisters are in situations where they can't wear it and I understand about that, but I try to be encouraging for sisters that are scared to make that step.
Right,
But
mashallah.
yeah, my website is up and you can purchase them, and There's lots of varieties, and I'm gonna focus on getting more and building my inventory.
Inshallah, inshallah. So, you mentioned as well, obviously, there's sisters out there who, for certain reasons they can't wear the niqab or whatever, and maybe some sisters who don't feel confident. So, what kind of advice would you give to those sisters?
Yeah, I come across a lot of them on my social media. A lot of sisters reach out to me. Well, not like a lot. I don't want to say a lot, but I have had sisters reach out
Mhm.
to me that they can't wear niqab because they live with their family still,
Mhm.
for example. So I just tell them to have sabr.
Yeah,
If you're living under your parents' roof, you have to respect them and know that, when the time comes that you can wear niqab, then this is a blessing from Allah. And, while the time that you can't wear it, use this time, take advantage of it to build on the knowledge of niqab and take that time to do that. That's because so many times people jump into it and don't know
yeah,
nothing about it.
hmm,
Or they're just wearing it because their mom wears it and
yeah,
have no knowledge at all. So use this time to seek the knowledge and gain and build on it. And then when the time comes, alhamdulillah, inshallah, you'll be so strong in your niqab wearing, you know.
inshallah, inshallah. So, have you ever met any sisters who are forced to wear the niqab?
um, Not really forced. Well, I guess it kind of would fall on that aspect if they're like their moms. I've met a lot of sisters, their moms make them wear it
Okay.
because they're just like, well, I wear this, so you have to wear it too.
Mm,
And they're like really don't like it. They're teenager girls, like in their 20s,
yeah.
and they really don't like it, or they don't really understand the true concept of
Mm,
it. Their parents didn't go about teaching them the right way.
mm. So, do you think are those usually like, I'm just background, I'm trying to like kind of understand like where people are coming from. So, do you see that these sisters usually are they born Muslim from Muslim countries or reverts?
Mhm. They're born from Muslim countries.
Okay. May Allah grant them tawfiq. Amen. So, would you say that the sisters who wear the niqab get treated differently from sisters who wear the hijab?
Oh, for sure. I've even experienced it myself.
Yes.
I've like, yeah, I've been in the stores with hijabi friends. And let me see, I went to a Walmart once and my friend pointed it out. I wasn't looking. She said the guy was staring at you so long and weird. Like they walked past me and then I had walked. They were first and then I walked. And she said the guy was staring at you like you were some alien or something like that. And then we went to a shoe store and we were in the same scenario. They were walking and then I was walking. And the lady, the store clerk, asked them if they needed help, and they didn't. And she didn't bother to ask me, and I actually needed help. I'm like, what? So I feel like I do get treated differently as a Niqabi in like my country in USA. I
Yeah.
feel like people they treat me like I can't. I'm like illiterate,
Mm,
don't speak English.
yeah. Yeah, that's typical. I think every niqab experiences that people automatically think that yeah, because you got a niqab on that means that you must be foreign, you can't speak English at all.
Yeah, yep, I get that a lot.
SubhanAllah. So would you describe the niqab as being a barrier then? And if so, in which sense?
No, my niqab is not a barrier at all. It's a freedom for me.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. So have you in your in, yeah, you've been Muslim for 4 years. Have you managed to do any kind of traveling outside of the US at all? I know there's been like COVID and stuff, but the US itself
Mm,
is even quite a big place. So you mentioned that you been to see your family and things like that. They're not living in the same city as you, but is it quite a distance? Because I don't know anything about where
yeah,
places are in the US
yeah,
when
I've
it
traveled
comes
the
to
airport like
traveling.
twice. That's it. I want to travel outside of the country. I'm hoping to go to Canada soon.
Inshallah,
I've
inshallah.
totally traveled in my first time traveling was horrible. Like as I had mentioned, I was only Muslim for a month and I went to go see my mother
Okay.
and I had been wearing the niqab for a month.
Oh
And
wow.
I hadn't took the niqab off yet
Mm-hmm.
when I was passing through the security. So the guy had to see my face And it was all new to me. So he asked my husband, he's like, "Is it okay if she lifts her veil?" And he's like, "Yeah, whatever, whatever." So then we passed through the metal detectors, and it goes off the alarm. So they take me to the back room, and like a woman searches me, but I'm literally freaking out because I've never. Oh, I did pass through the airport like once when I was 18 to come to New York, but
Yes.
so I'm like, it was my first time as a Muslim going through this, so I'm feeling like I'm being treated differently because I wear a hijab on my
Yeah.
head.
Hmm.
And I'm literally pouring in tears. I'm in the back room being patted down, pouring
Wow.
tears. Oh my God. It was a horrible experience. But alhamdulillah, I can laugh now. Alhamdulillah, it's not a funny situation to go through that. And it's sad that we do have to go through that as Muslim women. And men probably do as well, just because they have beards and wear thobes and jubas.
Yeah, yeah.
But I went through the airport recently and I had no issues at all. And I kept my niqab on the whole time. And I felt so good. I had anxiety like, oh my God, is the alarm going to go off? Is the alarm going to go off?
Hmm.
And everything went great. So,
Alhamdulillah.
alhamdulillah for that.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. So not every experience is bad. So you get some good and some.
No.
Are there any other experiences like that you've had wearing the niqab that you'd like to share with people?
Any other experiences? No, I've never had to wear it at work because I worked at a daycare before, so I didn't have to wear it because I was only around women and children.
Okay, okay.
And I work virtually from home now, so
Yeah.
I don't wear it neither.
Okay,
So
alhamdulillah.
there's been a blessing from Allah, honestly.
Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah. So, okay, sister. So finally, I'll ask you, what does the niqab mean to you?
Um, it's worship to Allah, to my Rabb. It's protection from fitna. That's a big one for me. Um, it protects me from this dunya like beauty standards, like in the $1 million makeup industry. Like you said, I saved so much. My bank account is so
Um,
happy the amount of money
mashallah,
I saved.
mashallah. So you feel like it's helped you to save money?
Yeah, my skin is better. The time I save, I don't have to worry about like, oh, like the social media and stuff. It's all about makeup and putting filters and
Mm.
skin. Like it's like, oh my God, I feel like wearing niqab, I don't worry about this stuff. Like I don't care about it at all.
Alhamdulillah. It's funny you mentioned the makeup and not even just the makeup, but the skin itself. Like, because I think that's something that sister I haven't like talked about with sisters as well. Like, how your skin can actually like feel better, like having a niqab on instead of tons of makeup. Because I know there's some sisters, for example, they can be addicted to wear makeup. I've spoken to a few sisters like that. They said that wearing the niqab actually helped them, get over their makeup addiction.
Oh, wow.
So
I
it's
can't, I couldn't, I don't like makeup on my skin. It feels like I don't know, there's something on there that needs to get off.
yeah, yeah,
And then like I can't imagine how dirty your niqabs would be. I mean, they're already probably dirty from our oils on our skins, but
yeah,
it would just look so gross.
yeah. Subhanallah, subhanallah. So yeah, it's just like I think that I don't know. I mean, I'm not a makeup person myself, but I think the niqab is something it's helped protect my skin as well in a sense, like from especially if you live in a place that's quite polluted. Like it helps yours, and even like certain weather as well. It helps your skin to not be like get so dry or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, your skin can still get dry and you still need to do your skincare, but it's a big difference from before. I've noticed that, like for me, wearing niqab actually, because
Mhm.
it's not something
Yeah,
I don't think I've mentioned it before, but I see there's been a difference. It's easy for me to take care of my skin, basically.
for sure. I agree 100%.
Alhamdulillah. But I mean, as well, obviously, I suppose with that, if you do have sensitive skin, then that could be something else to consider. I've not like heard from any sisters if it's irritated their skin itself. So, because I suppose there must be some fabrics which might not be as friendly to the skin, just like they're not friendly for actually breathing through as well.
Oh yeah, I get that a lot too from customers.
Mm,
That like a lot of sisters, even when it comes to other modest clothing with abayas and
mm,
kimars, there's certain sisters that want eco-friendly products or
yeah,
chiffon, I think, or polyester. Some sisters do not like polyester. It's
Yeah.
irritating to their skin.
Yeah, because I think I've heard also two names of fabrics, the Nida fabric and what's the other name?
Hmm.
There's another name one, but that's that sisters recommend to wear because it's very light and flowy as well, and you don't it's like easy iron
Yeah,
kind of fabric.
Nida is so nice.
Yeah.
And chiffon is really flowy. But I could see how it would break out your skin if you have very sensitive skin.
Hmm. But then it's I suppose like if you're not really is that fabric for the niqab or is it mostly for the abayas and jilbabs?
Oh, there's no Nida niqabs. Chiffon
Mm.
there is.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because I've noticed with some of my niqabs, I bought like some from Indonesia actually. I'd ordered them, and the
Oh
fabric
my
like
God, those are
it's
amazing.
huh?
You liked it? Did you like them?
Well, beautiful, yeah, really beautiful niqabs. But the only thing is the fabric itself. They don't feel so soft to the touch. So like when you have them against your
Oh, it could have been the
face,
cotton, maybe.
yeah, when you have them against your face, like they're extremely breathable, very, very breathable. But the softness, they don't have like there's something little bit in the but like as I said, so for me, like I think it's okay on my skin, but it's still something I had to get used to that kind of texture because it's like you can feel it, when you're not used to it. You know what I mean? Like you get some fabric of niqab, like mashallah, it's really, really soft. So when you wear it on your skin, it's so soft. Like after a while, it's easy to forget that it's there. But
Oh
these
yeah.
ones, yeah, these ones, like when I first started wearing them, because I wasn't used to that material, there was a
What
little bit like, oh,
material was
like,
it?
but they look amazing, like mashallah. That they are some of my favorite niqabs for breathability and the look itself. It's just really nice and they're easy to wear too. So it's a one like I never really talk about these kind of things to be honest, but obviously when it comes to niqab, there's different, there's it's just like any piece of clothing, I suppose. You're gonna have the pluses and maybe negatives of some things, and it's like you could probably have a whole rating system for like what is like
What kind
good
of
and
material was that niqab? Do you remember?
I don't know what it's called. I'm really not good with this stuff, but I'm assuming it's a type of polyester material.
Well,
You know.
my favorite one from like Indonesian is like chiffon silk. Oh my gosh, theirs are so soft.
Wow. I don't know. I don't know. I might have some of those. 'Cause I do have some very soft ones from there. But I ordered them from a sister in the UK. She's like at the Kip brand. So and I think that's
Oh
from
yeah.
Indonesia or Malaysia as well.
Yeah, I have some old Kiptia
Yeah,
niqabs.
yeah, because those are really soft. I think those are definitely some of my favorites. They're super soft, mashallah. Really, really nice. Really nice. And the styles are good because they come with the styles that you can like with the usually this like the flap that you can like lower it really like quite over your eyes as well. So
Oh
those
yeah, those
are
are lovely.
yeah, really, really nice. Yeah, alhamdulillah. Yeah, mashallah. So alhamdulillah. Anyways, thank you for your time today, sister, because mashallah, it's been really nice talking to you, but I'm not going to take more of your time since alhamdulillah, you've got your baby and everything, but it's been a pleasure.
Thank
And
you.
I'm sure that the sisters will benefit from your experiences, inshallah. And definitely we'll put your Instagram page and your website as well, you mentioned, in the description box, inshallah, so that sisters can get, to see your products and inshallah give you some business.
Okay, I would be so thankful for that. I just wanted to give some advice for any sisters that want to wear niqab.
Hmm.
So I'd say for them to seek the knowledge and know that there's difference of opinion. Because that when I began wearing niqab, I didn't know about that.
Hmm.
So later on, I found out about there's sunnah, and some people think it's fard. And so seek knowledge first, and always reach out to other sisters, and make sure you have the right intention in your heart, and know that it's an act of worship and not a fashion statement,
Exactly. Yeah.
and take it a day at a time. Because there's gonna be, there'll be highs and lows, but that don't mean you have to give up. You got to keep going, and you can talk to your support team and lean on them. don't like close yourself in and give up or like not talk to someone, and just know that you're not alone. And you have to block out the outside voice because there's going to be a lot of it. You're going to hear a lot of whispers from shaitan, or maybe people, family, uh, I don't, strangers might say things. You just got to learn to block that stuff out.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, subhanAllah. Because that's one of the things, like, I think some people, even wearing the niqab when they really want to, they can become quite self-conscious as well and feel like sometimes that everybody's looking at them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, subhanAllah. So that's one of the, that's definitely really, really good advice. Barakallahu feekum, sister.
Thank you so much for having me on your Niqab Diaries.
Alhamdulillah, and Jazakallah khair for giving me your time as well, because Alhamdulillah, I know you're really, really busy. So I really appreciate you taking this time out.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, sister. Have
Wa
a good
alaikum
day.
salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You too, sister. Take care.